Hello everyone. So I'm so pressed for time today. I'm just going to do the health reading for the monster. And I've left the cards all upright because I figure I'll know. I know how it's going to go. I just can't say for sure when. And boy, the cards were awful for today, Monday, but this one's for Tuesday. Veterans Day, right? November 11th, Veterans Day. How's the monster's health? How will he do today, or do Tuesday, November 11th? Oh, and I'm going to stop shuffling and put my energy in a different place for a moment and say thank you so very much to anyone who has served and anyone who has lost a loved one who served. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay. There we are. So, the forces in motion for the day. I didn't, like I said, I didn't allow for reversals. I feel like this is Pam Bondi helping him out. I think that actually it's very possible too that he's getting nurturing where he can. When it's a Queen's, I don't read it as any part of his health because it's not what the Queens are about. They're either helping him or not. If they're helping him, it's Pam Bondi. She's not a nurse, not a doctor. This could be a doctor or a nurse, though. It could also have to do with, it's health, so I'm not going there. Yeah, I'm not going there. There's other judges and Elizabeth Moore and all that. That's not it. Health only. So I think he does have a doctor or a nurse that's helping him out. Now, he sure got booed a lot yesterday, so he needs this. Whomever this is. Now, with the moon card coming in the challenge position, I read that as a reversal, and that is absolute insanity. We know he's insane and paranoid. Because it's ruled by Pisces, we're also in the area of, lymphatic system, right? So sometimes this has to do with cancers and issues with addictions and sleep problems. So when we're talking about health, I think this could be a nurse or a female nurse or doctor who is doling out some prescription meds that way. Yeah. So, okay. Let's just go with 5 cards up here. All right. So I don't know where he's going to be today, but wherever he is, he's feeling, and then if I had to do one more card, there we go with the drugs. Yeah, I do think he might be at Mar-a-Lago. Well, actually, here, let me move let's do it a little bit differently. Okay. Just to get the whole picture, because these other ones coming through are a little too interesting. Oh, lovely. Okay. Oh yeah, just great. I mean, he's just not. I didn't even see what's on the bottom. Yeah, more paranoid in defense, and then we've got the Tower. But if I had kept going and done a big spread, I mean, look at that. All right, he's holding on for dear life. Stomach issues, heart problems, grave illness. The devil will have his due. These are awful, and this is terrible for health. Absolutely terrible. So, okay. With the when it comes to health, with the ace, what am I saying? 8 of Swords. He's in the area of being having trouble breathing. We're in respiratory issues with this card. Again, isolated, restricted, and trapped. But when it comes to just focusing on the health only, it's my card for long COVID. It's my card for breathing problems. Like I said, the respiratory issues where, you're kind of tied up here and you can't get a lot of air in, right? Connective tissue that, when you think of like your lungs expanding, right? There's a lot of the rib cage, all of that. There's so much connective tissue in there. He's restricted. And then with the 7 of Pentacles, it's, neck problems again, obsessive compulsive disorders. And I think he's got pressure because of the connective tissue in the neck. I think he has pressure there on the vertebra, the cervical vertebrae. And so the swelling in his neck is causing him to have that extra pressure, and which is, part of kidney disease. And we have, in the past, we've got many cards about that, having dialysis even. The Queen of Swords could be a doctor that helps him at home. He could be still at Mar-a-Lago. I'm not sure, but this would be in the safety and the luxury of any one of his resorts, and two female doctors to help him out with his dementia, and with his and doling out the drugs. And then here's our Mar-a-Lago card, but it could be any of his card, and he could be having another stupid event, because he just won't quit. He won't give up. And then we have the Death card, so the big physical changes. I don't have the 10 of Swords, but we do have the 8 of Swords. They just didn't come together, but you can see the pattern, right? Can't breathe, pressure on the neck, problems getting enough oxygen to his brain. He's got the best of healthcare and nurses and doctors, but then with this 6 of Cups, they're treating dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever you want to call it. And there's drugs administered wherever he goes. White House, doesn't matter where he is, he's got the drugs. He's hooked up. And then he's always, watching the news and looking for something better. But this is someone younger that's probably helping him out as well, or giving him news. I didn't allow for reversal, so it could very well be bad news. He doesn't care. But when we're talking health issues, we are in the realm of heart problems, and again, the ribs and spine rule this area here. So this goes with our 8 of Swords, or at least with the ribs. But yeah, it's also a card of incontinence. So there's that. Heart, sometimes a fever, because Saturn, in Sag moves energy quickly. Saturn can carry quite the weight with it. And then the 7 of Swords here. So we've got the 7 and the 8. When it comes to health with the 7 of Swords, it could just be a virus. So both of these two cards here can be some kind of an infection or a virus. And, he's out all the time, and he's always with people. And, why can't he get another form of COVID? Or at least some type of a flu bug, Or what's probably more likely is that whatever catheters and other ports of entry that he has, tubes going in, he can get an infection that way. Now, the Nine of Wands, this is not so much, when it comes to health, there can be paranoia, but with the Tower card, this is a card of fevers, upright or reversed, or it could also be another MRI. Maybe he's looking out for like getting another MRI. Maybe he has to be checked again, or at least a CT scan or something like that. But yeah, so anyway, when it comes to just health, we've got the nervous system because it's ruled by Uranus, and we've got Mars, and that is what could possibly bring through a fever. So high blood pressure, boiling points. Sometimes you go in, a person would go into shock, and and the cards aren't right next to each other, but to have the Death card and the Tower. The Eight of Swords would be my card. Like if these two came right next to each other, I'd say, oh, well, like yesterday we had the Four of Swords and the Death card, and I was thinking, okay, is he down? But then, but that was for our today, and that's the day after he went to wherever, I don't know where it was. Anyway, he was stupidly reading out some oath, like he's reading out an oath that he wants them to say or whatever. I don't know what the hell he was doing, because he's knucking futs, and everybody was booing at him for a long time, and photos of the double bird, right? This is right, throwing him out of the, if it's not an MRI when it comes to health, this is like throwing him out of a place where he doesn't want to be. And we've got both paranoia cards here. And it's just the doctors doling out the drugs that make him feel better. And then, Don Jr.'s card isn't in here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't bring him drugs. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have a hookup, maybe from, not from Elon Musk himself, but maybe, one of his little doji boys or whatever. Like where does Elon Musk get all his drugs? I've gotten before that, I got clearly just like guidance right into my ear one day that he was going to go out with a heart attack. But I didn't. I don't think I stopped to ask when. And I do have some questions that you guys are dropping in, and if I don't get a chance to do them over my table, I'll do them in the live stream on Thursday at noon Pacific. So if you join me there, I'll have that done. But yeah, we have too many like fever cards here, virus cards. Even though he's at home, it looks to me like he's at home in the lap of luxury and being taken care of. So if he's out, or if he goes to Washington, D.C. on Veterans Day, it's still possible. I'll be surprised, but I don't think he's going to be doing much. He may have some little event planned at the White House for veterans. That's possible. But if he does, it's not going to go well. It's the second day in a row I've gotten the Death card. And if these two were together, the Tower and the Death card, I would be thinking it's fatal and explosive. It's probably a I'd be thinking it was like major trauma and shock and suddenly being paralyzed, like maybe goes into an MRI machine or a CAT scan and his body can't take it, because his nervous system is just, he's really not doing well at all. So now other times when you get these two cards together, if they, if they were like right next to each other, but maybe, I don't, this is all a big experiment. Maybe it's, maybe they don't have to be next to each other. All I know is these two are for all day, and then I was trying to just kind of get through the day here. But these two together, the Tower and the Death card, can be a violent death. And if you're watching out for somebody coming after you, right, there you go. So, and I've done readings on him before where it looked like that is what's going to happen when, when the time comes. I'm sure he's got that, because I really do feel like he was Mussolini in his last lifetime, and he probably has that fear, even if it's unconscious and he's not, he's not fully aware of like where that fear is, that paranoia of somebody taking him out. So, okay, well, that's it for today. Take good care. Have a wonderful Veterans Day, and happy Monday too. Bye.